Hey everybody, Jimmy here, along with Matt. Hello, Matt.
Hey, how you doing?
Not good, Matt.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's probably the wrong question.
I don't maybe not been following the news, but there's been some happenings in my life, your life as well. You were affected by this as well.
And we don't mean to make light of this, obviously.
No, but
look,
that's part of that's part of what I wanted to talk about here today.
Yeah.
What our show, and we talked about it last week. At any rate, let me start over.
Yeah. So, I mean, we already are off track.
A little over a week ago, at this time, Matt and I came to the studio to announce that Andrew was missing, and obviously everybody has seen the news by now, but maybe not. But we sadly got the news on Thursday of last week that Andrew had died, and I don't know if I've said that sentence out loud before, what I just said, except when I called you and called other folks, my family and what have you. And we're wrestling. We were joking at the top of this, which is only 45 seconds ago, but now seems like it was 12 minutes ago. That I don't know what to do, and so to come on and talk to They're Never Not Funny fans seemed like the right thing to do. Mm-hmm. And that's based on the outpouring of love and support that has come on the internet and emails and phone calls and that sort of thing. He was my brother-in-law. And I'm still, and I apologize. This is not a press statement. I'm just talking, everybody. And Matt, you can jump in as well. Sure. I'm not one to make a press statement. I'm one to just talk, from my gut and from my heart, and sometimes that results in rambling. And I apologize. So to sit down and talk to you guys is what I decided to do, and I know I've already said that. So in the last 5 days, it's been hell. There's no other way to put it. I hesitate to use the word good thing to come out of it is that there was closure, and that my wife and her family and I am part of that family. Matt is part of the Never Not Funny family, and part of Andrew's life. We can begin the grieving process. The time that he was missing was unbearable. Yeah. The not knowing, every time the phone would ring, our hearts would sink, and that's over. And dealing with all of this in the public eye has been the most fucking surreal thing in the world. I apologize for the language. It's been, my wife going on Larry King and CNN and inside. I mean, it's just craziness to that all of this is public, and I don't even know what I'm saying, except that.
Well, that's over now, and I think that made it harder in some ways.
Thank you. God, I forgot what my train of thought was, Matt.
We couldn't process it. It's hard to process anyway, but it's harder. I think it's harder to process it when you don't know. When you don't know. And then when you get caught up in this weirdness, I mean, it to me, it made it more real and also less real to see you guys on TV.
I know. I mean, and look, I'll make it about me for 10 seconds. I went on the Joy Behar show, and no amount of performing or experience in front of a camera prepares you for talking about something like this. I mean, it was, I hated every second I was there. I did it because Danielle was not available at that moment to do it.
I know you had a knot in your stomach. I mean, you don't get stage fright or anything, but it's just.
It was and when I walked out of there, I said that obviously I will do whatever the family asks me to do, but I do not want to do another one of these. That was I did not care for that. I did not care for having to talk about such a thing on CNN. The thing about all of it is that we've lost just such a great guy, and 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 a couple of things before I get into that is just, my father-in-law's press conference may have been the most heartbreaking thing I ever had to watch. Yeah. But he handled it with dignity, and he handled it with class, and to reach out to others that may need this help. I just thought was just a stand-up thing to do. And I think I watched that thing on a loop for 20 minutes straight, and just sat at my computer sobbing. And all the while, and by the way, doing that while my wife was in the other room, because I also need to be strong for her. Not that I'm not allowed to feel these feelings, but to be strong for her, but also to feel what I'm going through. And my wife is the greatest woman in the world, and we're able to lean on each other here. I don't even know what I'm saying. Maybe I should have prepared a press release. I don't.
Well, we can talk about Andrew.
Andrew was, I met him when I met my wife. A little bit afterwards, and he was cold and distant to me, and I was like, why? What's going on? And then it was like, I know why. I'm sleeping with his sister. I'm dating his little sister. He's the big brother. He's being protective. It took me months to figure that out. And I would go to family functions, and we would get along, and we would share a laugh or two. But we were never close necessarily. But then when he came to me, and then sat down with you about being part of Never Not Funny, a switch was clicked, and he and I started bonding in just an amazing way. Like all of a sudden, we started respecting each other in a whole different world. I was no longer just his sister's husband, or who he's, you better not hurt my sister sort of a vibe. Right. You better not, you better be a good guy. To hey, my brother-in-law's kind of talented, and then I always thought, now let me back up, Matt, very quickly, and say this interesting part, and because just to address it quickly, I was never a Star Trek fan. We've talked about that on the show. I don't care that Danielle's father was on Star Trek. Do I think it's neat? Yeah, I do. Yeah. I think it's like, he's iconic. It's interesting. But when I found out the day that Andrew was Boner on Growing Pains, it was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I loved that character.
Yeah.
He was the funny guy. You know what I mean? He was the guy.
That was the part you would have wanted.
It was the part I would have wanted as an actor. Yeah. And he was great. He was terrific. He knew how to deliver a line. He knew how to give a take to the camera. He was dynamite. Yeah. And so to find that out was like, Star Trek? Who gives a... I couldn't... It was... I did it with a sense of pride. I couldn't... and by the way, this was before I realized that maybe he didn't enjoy being known as Boner.
Right.
When I would go on interviews and stuff, I would... people go, hey, so your father-in-law? I was like, yeah. But my brother-in-law was Boner. Or my sister's girlfriend... my girlfriend's brother. God, was Boner. So to me, that was neat. And then once I realized that maybe he didn't necessarily dig being known as Boner, I of course stopped, quote unquote, bragging about it.
Right.
But he was, as I've said it 1,000 times on this show, he was handsome and talented, and being able to spend the last 2 years involved on this show with him is just terrific. Yeah. And getting to know him, and getting to go to family functions, and just being able to have this to bond over while the whole family is doing what families do at family functions.
Yeah.
To be able to go, say, so even if it was just to break the ice, hey, you available on Tuesday to do the record? Oh yeah, I am. Who's going to be on?
Yeah.
Chit chat, and then boy, the feedback on that episode was great, or that sort of thing. And then just being able to talk about various things that, that were said or whatever on the show. And of course, more him talking about it than me, because I have the memory of an idiot, and I forget the second I walk out this door. I just wanted to take if I can, Matt, just take a couple of seconds to say some stuff about him. He was, as you could tell from the outpouring on the internet, on my Facebook page or on a specialthing.com, that he touched everybody. in that way. He was to Never Not Funny fans. He wasn't Boner, and that is so cool to me. That I was able to sit down and share with him, once a week or every other week, whenever we recorded, and have him be a part of something that wasn't Boner, that he enjoyed doing.
Yeah.
And he did enjoy doing this. Mm-hmm. He enjoyed coming here. And Matt and I were talking before we came on the air about, Andrew setting up and being, excited to be setting up and getting ready for the show and just, the small talk that we would do before a program, which we try to limit because we want to bring it to the show. He sat in the, and like I said a couple episodes ago when Elliot was here, and I said, that comes with the territory of being in that seat. You're the whipping boy, mm-hmm. and as much as I would do that, I knew that he knew that I didn't mean any of it.
Yeah,
and he would laugh, and Andrew wasn't the easiest laugh.
That's true.
He would sit there stone-faced a lot, and Andrew and I did not necessarily have the same sense of humor. His cerebral type of humor was not maybe the same as mine, and his silly sense of humor was not the same as mine.
Right.
But yet we both had
both of those.
Yeah. But man, did I feel when he would give that laugh. Yeah. God damn it, that made me happy.
Yeah.
It gave me a sense of like I got him.
Yeah.
And I felt like, even though I'm in my 40s, I felt like, going back to what I said earlier, my wife's brother-in-law likes me.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not just, you have to like it but because of the circumstances. Yeah. Like whenever he would laugh, it's like, oh, this guy actually likes me. And
yeah, I mean, it was one of the greatest things. Like he would laugh sometimes at something dumb that I would say, and I know he was laughing because it was so dumb or so not funny that it was funny to him. But it was still, it was so different from when before he started videotaping. There would really be only two ways something could go. If I said something, either it would be funny and you would laugh, or the guest would, or both of you would laugh, or it wouldn't be funny and you would make fun of it. But this was like a whole new thing where like he genuinely enjoyed something different. I think there were times that I felt like he and I bonded not only because you would shit on both of us, but because maybe I had a little bit, maybe my sense of humor was a little closer to him at times than yours, and so.
But let's be clear, I'm still the right one here.
There's no one's arguing.
Oh, very good.
We're not here to fight. But I loved that he brought a different take, a different energy. Like he was such a perfect foil for you.
Yes,
he was.
Yes,
you couldn't have invented a better counterpoint to the gentleman Pardo, right, than a guy who would walk around in barefoot and
hot pants and his shirt unbuttoned down to his navel.
With his flowing mane. Yeah, I mean, it was like we didn't plan any of that. Andrew didn't plan any of that. He thought he was coming in here to do a technical job,
right?
That was his idea to do that, to be the video guy.
It was,
and
which brings me to the other thing that I loved about him was that he had ideas.
Yeah,
and they may not have succeeded, but he didn't stop. Nothing stopped him from trying ideas. Whether he would go on stage as a performer, doing sketch or whatever, and he would do something that was way out there, and it would bomb.
Yeah,
I don't want to say he didn't care, but he was fearless in that way. That he wasn't afraid to look dumb if he thought it could work.
Right.
But then afterwards, he would go, "Boy, that didn't work."
Yeah.
But he tried it. Whereas so many people would be, and I'm guilty of this myself. Of, you know what? I don't know if I want to do that. It might not work, and I might look stupid when it's done. Yeah. And that fear would stop me from doing something.
Right.
And he didn't have that, and he would take risks in as a performer or in projects where, again, monkeyGoLucky.com never really turned into what he wanted it to, but it didn't stop him from trying.
Right.
Whereas others would go, there's a million websites out there. Why would I even bother?
Yeah.
He tried. And, monkeyGoLucky.com basically turned into him being full-time on Never Not Funny, which is great, too.
Right.
So in a way, Monkey Go Lucky was a success.
Well, all those emails, I mean, people have emailed and said they've shared some stories about the contact they had with Andrew, just emailing him to thank him for doing the video and thank him for being part of Never Not Funny. And it makes me feel really good that he knew that, he knew that people appreciated him, and he knew that he was reaching, people. It's such a, it doesn't, he knew that he was touching people's lives, and I think it brought him happiness to be here and to be a part of this. So I'm glad that he had that. Yeah.
Me too. And I want to thank you, my friend Matt, for being the rock that I had to turn to over the past 10, 15 days. Mm-hmm. And I also want to thank you for, while I'm getting credit for it on the internet, the beautiful words that you wrote on the podcast page. It just really, really summed up who he was, and that I can't thank you enough for those words, because I will never forget them. And Lizelle, who took the photo that we have on our podcast page, just captured Andrew in a way that, and we spoke about this.
Yeah.
That's him. Mm-hmm. That picture was Andrew Koenig at Never Not Funny. A sense of pride and
joy.
And that picture, man, that really captured him. And again, I'm lucky to have seen it.
Yeah. But that's that's how I really, mostly 99% of my interactions with Andrew were here and were related to the show, and that's what I'm going to remember. That's the Andrew that that's in my mind, as a guy that was really loved his job, and he took a lot of pride in it, but he just had fun with it, and that really just just having him across from me made me feel good.
I know. And we're just going to miss him.
Yeah.
And I don't want to rehash the he was so much more than Boner, because we all know that. The Never Not Funny people know that. We know that he was a man of his convictions, and he did things that others only talked about doing.
Yeah.
People go, you know what, we got to do something about that situation in Burma, and then he did it.
Yeah.
And he was an inspiration to a lot of people, and I'm lucky to have known him. I'm lucky to have been part of his family. People have asked if there's somewhere to donate money in his name, and we'll put the links on the website.
Yeah.
UScampaignforburma.org, and then the family has asked for suicide prevention lifeline.org as well. For whatever reason, the Burma thing is the one that speaks more to me. Mm-hmm. But that is twice that we've tried to do a thing and sirens have gone off.
This neighborhood is going downhill.
Again, the outpouring of support on the internet has been wonderful. I do want to, and I mentioned this on the last one, the young man up in Vancouver named Jordan, mm-hmm. who I just want to publicly thank by using his name. Took his Saturday last, and put up 200 flyers around Vancouver by himself. Nobody asked him to.
Right.
Nobody, I'm not suggesting that other people wouldn't have done that, but just was so moved by that, and I just I thank you. So now, Matt, is there anything else that you?
I mean, I don't. I feel like we're going to have a million things that we're going to want to talk about, and I don't know. We don't know how we're going to deal with all this down the road, but I think I want to keep talking about it and also keep doing our show. I mean, I don't want to stop doing it. And,
we know that Andrew did not want us to stop it, and I know that's cliched to say the show must go on, because I always think that that's a
rationalization or something.
And also a neediness on the performer of we know he would have wanted to continue. We know that let's do it for him. I think sometimes those are empty words, but we do actually we actually do know that.
Yeah.
And
all of you know that. I mean, he obviously wanted Elliot to take over, and so
yes, and so we'll continue with this, and we'll be back, and we'll be back doing a funny show. Even in talking about this, the humor's coming up, and we're stifling it. I admit that I'm stifling it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just like right now it doesn't feel right to me, but I also know that I really believe in the power of humor and the power of laughter, and it sounds corny, but
no, it's not corny, because that we've received, as I'm sure you have too. I know I have received hundreds, if not thousands, of emails from people saying how we've helped them through tough times,
right.
And I guess it's time for you to return the favor to help us through a tough time. Bear with us. We'll be back on in a couple weeks. The time is not right to come here and be silly, but it will be.
Yeah. And then
and we'll deal. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, I just think we'll help each other. I mean, as much as it's hard being in the middle of it. What I love about this show the most is that I get to come in and laugh for a few hours, and you make me laugh, and I make you laugh, and the guests do that, and that's how we're going to get through it.
Absolutely. And so now we thought it'd be great to run some clips of some of our favorite Andrew moments, longer moments. Obviously, he had his little, sniper rifle out and would hit, periodically, and we don't have those. We'll all have to remember those. But these are some of the bigger chunks that, sprung to mind of Matt and I, and of course what I've read on the internet.
Yeah, thanks to everybody on podcast.com, and a special thing for giving us suggestions for this too. I mean, it was like something that we obviously everyone had this idea because this is how we want to pay tribute and remember him, and so go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's it.
Yeah.
So thank you. Again, thank you for your support and your love, and I'm gonna miss him.
Yeah.
I loved him. He was more, he's my brother-in-law, but he was my friend, and my coworker. Here's the clips. Do you know who was in the '84 Olympic opening ceremonies?
No. Andrew Koenig?
Andrew Koenig.
Shut up.
And my beautiful wife, Danielle Koenig.
How?
What'd you guys do?
Over here to a microphone.
Well, we need get amplified, Andrew.
Yeah, come on over.
This is Andrew Koenig. You recognize him from the police blotter?
Not necessarily my microphone. No, I'm kidding.
You want to just go in between?
Yeah, we'll just
go between.
You don't need a microphone.
Andrew Koenig, of course, from television. A pleasure to have him here. Now works mostly behind the camera.
That was hurtful what he just said.
What did he say?
He said I didn't need a microphone.
Well, I'm talking.
Oh, okay, good call. How come just being right here, you suddenly can't hear me at all if I just go like that?
Wow, that's amazing.
Because it's an omnidirectional.
Unidirectional.
Unidirectional, probably the opposite. Yeah, idiot.
84 Olympics.
We were
done?
In the openings.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm not in the groove yet. We were in the opening ceremonies of the Olympics in the Pioneer Dance. We had an audition for it, and it was a joke that I got it because it was a dance audition, and we had to follow a choreography. And instead, I just kind of did my own Steve Martin routine afterwards because I just couldn't follow, as I'm like, just goofing around.
Right.
And they have us come back around in a circle because you come through a second time. I was like, they're not going to send me through a second time. They sent me through a second time. And sure enough, I was a pioneer heading east in the LA Coliseum. Which I thought was pretty humorous at the time that I figured that out.
Yeah.
And then Cuba Gooding was breakdancing.
Hang on, you talking about Junior or the old man?
Junior.
Okay, go ahead.
Not main ingredient, senior.
Right.
Junior.
He just shows up with his trumpet. Senior. Doesn't he play the horn?
I don't know. No, he's a singer.
Is he a singer? Is he a crooner?
Ingredient. Yeah.
Okay.
You know the main ingredient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought but I thought he also played a horn and sang.
Nice.
What's happening?
I said it's cumin.
If you're gonna make a joke, I gotta say it on mic.
I know.
Gotta turn the mic.
It's awkward.
All right, so it's Cuba. What's Cuba portraying?
Yeah, he's in the ending ceremonies with. Remember the rocket pack? The guy that comes by down the rocket pack. He's breakdancing. And
No.
I think they're breakdancing.
We said we liked the Olympics. We didn't say that we worshipped them.
I think they were breakdancing to Lionel Richie's All Night Long or something.
Sure.
Oh, boy, sure. That's
know,
what you would do in 1984.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a time capsule.
Indeed. And there was some guy that came by in one of those jetpacks that only lasts 30 seconds because they only have enough hydrogen peroxide in it to last that long. But it was cool because in 1984, you're still waiting.
You thought it was right around the corner. We're all going to have jetpacks.
Yeah, that's right.
In '86.
Still waiting for mine. So
It's coming.
That's what I did.
What did my wife do?
nice.
What did my wife do at the Olympics?
She was also in the opening ceremony.
With you?
In the Pioneer sketch. She-
Also an Eastward Bound Pioneer?
The Pioneer sketch.
Yeah. Well, it's like, hey, everybody, it's welcome to America. This is what it's about. Of course, there wasn't any slaying of Native Americans or enslaving of black people, but we had pioneers going across the Coliseum in a joyous celebration of America.
Very good.
There you have it.
Fantastic.
I like the way that you gave a little goodbye with your toothpick.
I don't want to take up too much time. I got to get back to the camera.
I know you do.
Yeah.
What do you got to do? You got to adjust it inch to inch in case I move around in my chair?
Yeah.
All right, very good. That's Andrew Koenig, folks. You can IMDb him, find out all about his life and career.
YouTube, the opening ceremonies of the 1984 Olympics.
You know, I bet you it's on YouTube.
Look for the jetpack.
You know what I found on YouTube? Dig this. You don't eat gummy bears, right, Andrew? That's part of your vegan lifestyle?
They get the
That's
made
right.
with the bone marrow of an animal or something.
Plus bears.
You know it's not a real animal.
Don't want to eat bears.
Good
Well,
for
yeah.
you.
Gummy bears.
Good for you.
I
Huh?
agree with
You
that
got your
part of it.
convictions and you can stick to them.
That's why I only eat the worms.
Remember when I was addicted to gummy worms?
Yes.
Jeez, I was addicted to those for like a year. Couldn't
You were
stop eating them.
addicted to the gummy
I was
worms?
addicted to them. I would send them emails.
Because they're thick and they got like a nice bite to them.
Oh, you're damn right. And then they got that sour, tangy taste. I love everything about the gummy worm.
Just like a tiny cock.
Dirty, huh? Dirty!
I love it when I get in a bottle of gummy tequila. No? Okay.
Zero.
It took me a second to understand what you meant, and then
Zero.
It's actually not a bad
Now
joke.
I like
think
it.
the problem
It's
is
not a
we
good
don't
joke.
always get his style of comedy. And by the
very
time
not-
that we
he's
get it,
very
we've already
unfunny.
shit on it. What is it?
I said he's very unfunny.
That's
So
what I
a lot
mean by
of
his style.
a lot of times you don't get.
His style, his brand of comedy. All right, so
steps.
Andrew's very funny.
Andrew, give us the Busey story. You just worked with Gary Busey on a short film?
No, it was a feature, actually.
You did a full-length motion
I'm gonna
picture.
get on camera for this because this deserves it.
Okay,
Yeah, do
well,
it.
where do we put you?
Just take the camera off us for a second.
You're going to have to use his mic then.
I'll give Matt a tuggy while
Oh,
we're
he
off
can take
camera.
his own microphone.
Careful.
Careful now, safety first.
We're good.
Okay.
I think I'm in the shot. Okay, so I got one of my has-been offers to be in a low-budget independent film.
What does that mean by has been offered? That means that they said, hey, wouldn't it be a kick if we had Boner from Growing Pains in a film?
Precisely.
And you have been fighting that for years. This particular one, you said, let's do it.
Yeah, most of them have been like reality shows and stuff like that, so that I have no interest
You wouldn't
in.
want to do wrestling?
You want to go to Celebrity Fit Club?
He's in good shape. He's already in good shape.
Well, I know that's what he gets to gain like 10 pounds and then he goes.
Don't you think one of those things would kickstart the career? I mean this
Okay,
sincerely.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Whose career has been kickstarted by one of these reality shows?
Every
Danny
one of them.
Bonaducci.
Yes.
No.
Well, he
not
was
really.
doing a
He's
lot of
doing
radio
the same
before
crap.
that.
I mean, he just
Oh, okay.
does more
I
of the
got
same.
one.
Pat's got one.
Christopher Knight.
Christopher Knight is the perfect example of that.
Yeah.
What is he doing?
It
Hosting
turned-
a game show?
Yeah.
I'm going to host a game show?
Well,
No, I mean,
got
you're
a,
not,
He
but-
got a spin-off of a very Brady whatever.
But that's just another reality
But
show.
you're a good actor.
Yeah, you could be like a big boner. That could be the show.
You're a good actor.
The biggest
Chris
boner.
Knight is not a good actor.
The biggest boner.
He needed to spin into other.
your show.
I'm ignoring him. He needed to go into other reality shows
That could be
and
on
game
the
shows
Triple X
because he's
channel.
not a good actor. You are a good actor.
Yeah.
Where's he going?
Well, thank you.
What are you doing now?
I don't know.
Pushing in a little bit.
Oh, he's hitting me.
Well, now you're going to be out of the shot. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I like how he put his
Maybe
hair.
I should have gotten
He put his hair up to be on camera.
No, I didn't. I did it because
There we go. All right. So you
Do a little boners to bone for us.
No.
what
Let
would
me
that
ask you
even
a question.
entail?
I want to ask him a question. Boners to Bone's dad. What was his dad's name?
Sylvester Stallone.
That's right.
Slice to bone?
Do you know they wanted my dad to play that character?
Did they really?
Yeah, he was going to play it, but he had to go out of town that weekend, and he ended up not doing it.
Aw.
Which is a shame. But the
That is
couple
a
that
shame.
ended up playing my
Sylvester
parents
Stallone.
were actually married.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they auditioned separately, and they ended up getting cast.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
great.
That's neat.
That is
Yeah.
neat. And they've never worked since.
Go
So,
on.
I'm sorry. So we're Gary Busey and you.
So I get this.
Now you don't have to audition though. Like he said, they just
This
gave
is
it
one
to
of
you.
those rare occasions
Okay.
where someone calls me up and they want me to be in something.
Okay.
So they offer me one of two scenes. They say you can do this scene in the elevator, or you can do this scene with Gary Busey. And I'm like, come on, well, got to do a scene.
That's
with
a
Gary
no-brainer.
Busey.
Yeah.
You know, you've heard all the stories.
Yes.
You know, and I'm like, I want to experience this firsthand. It's kind of like saying, I wonder how hot fire is. you know,
I wonder how hot.
I know it's supposed to burn you. Let's see what happens if I actually put my
Right.
hand into it.
That's great.
So I go there. I'm there. They're shooting in like some apartment building in the valley, ish. And so the producer comes up to me and says, "Okay, so we've been dealing with Gary for a couple of days now,
We're
and
not working with him, dealing with him.
yeah. He doesn't really stay on script. In fact, he just kind of does his whole thing. What he does is he's Gary Busey. He doesn't. There's no difference between his characters and who he is. He's always Gary Busey, no matter what. I mean, if he could be doing a period piece, a Victorian period piece, and he'd be Gary Busey. So he what?
Is Pat in the background of that shot?
I don't know if he is or not. No, you are. You actually were in the shot. You actually were in the shot.
It's all coming unwound, man.
All right, sit down. We all listened to your stupid story about that monkey.
I needed water.
Go ahead.
Sarah, I made you this monkey.
I made you a Gary Busey
Here it
doll.
is, Sarah.
If anyone needs water, it's my
monkey.
mom
It's
needs
him, his
water.
buddy
Do you want to
Holly.
switch while I'm over here? Do you want to do switcher?
Oh yeah, sure. Well, we don't need to see
Keep
us
it on you. They don't need to see us.
At all.
or Pat, since I would be over there.
I wish there was a way for me to get out of this
This
shot.
would be a great time for us to take a nap. Okay, go ahead. Busey.
And spice this story up. If somebody punch somebody in the face if need
Haven't
be.
you told this before on here?
Andrew never says that.
What if it ended with him actually putting his hand in the fire?
All right,
Gary Busey grabbed my fist and stuck it in the
the
fire.
producers explained to me that he's a bit of a wild card, and he wants me to keep him, bring him back to script. I said,
Why is that your responsibility?
right, exactly. Why is that? I do improv. I'm planning to have fun.
Right.
You know, I'm going to be doing opposite Gary Busey, literally sitting across a table from him.
And what are you buying? You buying used cars? Are you a car salesman?
He's selling something.
Oh, he actually was a salesman of some sort?
There's like, look, this movie doesn't make any sense. It's a very strange, esoteric film, and he's pitching different ideas to different people. So he's pitching some idea to me, and I'm supposed to be like some rich guy, and he got in a fight with one of the producers like a couple nights before. So the rumors of his violence are true, like a shoving, punching fight. Yeah.
He laid hands on one of the producers.
Yes.
Is he a big guy? Is he tall?
Yeah, he's huge, and he does like martial arts.
Tai Chi.
So when we first met at lunch, I said, "Hey, Gary," I'm Andrew. Says, "Hey, how you doing?" He says, "Hey, we're gonna be doing that karate scene together." And he goes, "Oh no, we're not gonna do that because I'd kill you." I was joking. There's no karate scene.
Oh,
Yeah, I was just playing with him.
you
know?
made the whole thing
Boy.
up. And
No, I'm
he-
just testing
You've
the
got
waters.
balls even playing with that.
Jump
nut.
in with a joke on Gary Busey.
Yeah.
Busey. And what I've learned from Celebrity Rehab, and I apologize if I'm stepping on your story with this, that part of his brain is missing.
Oh, yeah.
Where he doesn't understand humor.
Right.
He also doesn't understand reality or fantasy because they're the same thing. I mean, I'm telling you, this guy, there's no separation. There's no character work. So we're on the set. We're doing the thing. I've got these two beautiful, hot chicks
Good-looking
on my
ladies.
side. Good-looking ladies.
Anyone we would know?
One of them was a former wrestler.
Oh, okay.
China?
No, I don't remember what her name was, but her actual name is Shelly Martinez. So you can look her up. She's got huge tits.
Dick the Bruiser.
Dick the Bruiser.
Yeah, remember Dick the Bruiser?
That was her character's name.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. She has.
I thought that's what she did to you if you slept with her.
Bruise the Dicker.
That's not a bad wrestler name for a lady, then, huh?
Dick the Bruiser.
Love it.
Except that Dick's not a lady's
She
name.
played some goth chick. Anyway, so they're on my side, and
Do you understand why you get those emails now?
You know that I did that to annoy you, right?
Did he?
Mission accomplished. Hold a press conference.
You'll get through it.
So
I promise.
How fucking dare you? How dare you? Johnny interrupt everything. I couldn't even say, hey, welcome to the gig. I got a gig. Oh, sweet Jesus. Go ahead, Andrew.
This is
I
his shot. He's
apologize.
on camera.
It's exciting. This is what I'm talking about.
More people would see this than the Scary Busey movie.
it's true. It's true. It will never be seen.
This thing's never going to make it to air?
It may make it to DVD, but I doubt anyone's going to rent it.
I'm going to rent it.
Oh, I think Richard Mole is in
Well,
it.
now you have to put your clips up on Monkey Go Lucky if.
Well, I asked the guy. I said, "Please," the director. I said, "Please send me the unedited
The raw
raw
footage.
footage because I think it's fucking hysterical." Because this is what happened.
Get to it.
Sitting across from him, I got the two ladies. I'm sitting there. He's pitching me the idea, and he goes off, and he starts talking about shit. So I go off, and I go talk with shit. I'm just playing with him. And he's getting upset because I'm keeping pace with him, and he just gets more and more angry. And to the point where like he's getting up like this, and just like the point where he's going to come over the table, I go, "Ha! I like this guy," and I shake his hand, and he goes, "Ah!" He's all smiles, and we sit down, and then he starts up again, and I start needling him again some more, and we're just going in. And he goes, "I like this guy." I'm just doing this to him like 3 times.
I like this character you
This is
do.
one like
The I like it guy.
This is one shot on him.
Put
Okay.
it on a t-shirt.
Now I don't know how they're going to cut this thing because there's no fucking continuity.
Right.
The shot is of him
That's not your responsibility.
over the shoulder. No.
Well,
But
it is.
in
If,
retrospect-
it is if you want to stay in the shot.
They might have They should have gone 2 camera if they got Busey and another guy. I mean,
Yeah, we
that's-
fucking got 2 cameras here.
Yeah. So where was I?
I like this
It
guy.
is hard.
What?
It is hard.
Yeah.
You just said I like this guy for the 3rd time.
Yeah. So at one point I stood up, and he gets up. He goes.
Oh,
Oh, sweet Jesus.
He starts to climb on the table, and then
Because he wants to get bigger than you.
yes,
Whatever he can do.
Yes, and he's already bigger than
He's a
me.
monster.
I'm a tiny man, and I'm a tiny man, and he literally pushes my shoulders down to get me back in my
That's great.
seat. And I don't budge. I just stand there, and he gives up, and then he falls off the chair because it's now his turn to do a pratfall because he has to compete with the
Oh my
kid he
God.
knows.
The young kid.
Unbelievable.
It was so genius. It was beautiful. And then the next take was on me, right? So we're doing it, and he goes, now, on this one, now I'm talking to you, not the character, okay? I'm talking to you.
And did you say, well, who am I talking to?
Did not. He says, no, let's do this one for real, though, okay? Let's do this. Let's do this right. And I'm like,
Really? After we already shot your side?
okay, and yeah. And I
'cause
was
he wants
and I was
to be
pissed
the
'cause I hate
crazy
being
guy.
told what to do, especially by people who I don't respect.
You don't respect Gary Busey?
Academy Award nominated actor.
No,
Buddy Holly
Did you ever
story.
see the Buddy Holly story?
I don't respect the man sitting across from
No,
me.
he's out of his fucking skull now.
Point
He's
Break.
got a brain injury.
Lethal Weapon, Mr. Joshua?
He's great in those movies.
He is.
He's great in those movies.
Okay. Well,
You should have a little respect for him.
so the
Seriously.
camera's flipped around. We do the bit. This time he's reading his lines because he's got them in front of him on the table, and he's reading them specifically. He doesn't go off book.
He doesn't
at all.
improvise at all this time.
Not at all. So now everything I say has to be what the script says.
Right.
What a jerk.
What a jerk.
He's nuts.
So
But he's not nuts enough not to know how to do this.
Yeah, like that reveals the
Yeah, that
deep,
reveals a
like
little
he's
bit.
beneath the insanity. He's still a fucking actor.
Yeah.
So gravity is like his pitch. He's talking about gravity or something. And I stand up at the end, and I got my 2 babes on his side. I go, hey, she doesn't have a problem with gravity. I grab her breast, And I asked her ahead of time. I said, is there anything off bounds? Because I'm going to improvise. She says, no, do whatever you want.
Do it up, Tom.
So I grab her boobs in the context of the scene.
Absolutely.
Of course.
And that scene was
Scene's
about
over.
automobiles.
Scene's over.
Then I give her a
comes up to
piggyback
her
ride. Right in the
afterwards.
scene. It's part of the scene. I give her a piggyback ride.
So after the scene, hey, great job. And then he goes up to her and he goes, hey, great job.
What?
And he grabs her tits. Yeah.
Wow.
And it's like, dude, mine was in the context of the scene.
But again, but he's missing that part of his brain.
Yes.
He doesn't have that filter.
Let me
He
ask
doesn't.
you.
He's nuts. And
So he goes back to his dressing room that he's been holed off in, and he's like always he's rewriting lines all day.
That's gotta be a good
which is
idea.
ridiculous because he doesn't actually read any of the lines.
Yeah, he's
So
Fantastic.
he So one of the ADs comes up to Shelley and
Assistant
says,
director.
Something like that, yeah. He says, Gary would like to see you in his room.
Oh, no.
And she's like, all right, I don't care. 'Cause she thought everybody was a bunch of pussies for, like, whenever Gary would come in the room, everyone would scramble.
Now, is this the girl that you grabbed her boob?
Yeah.
Okay, she's the wrestler.
She's the wrestler.
Dick Bruce.
So he takes off. I go to the producer. I said, you think we could do that scene again this time with me trying to match what we shot the first time?
Good for you.
Yeah, we could do that. And I was like, great. So we did that. We shot it again. I try to improvise along the same level, but who knows if it's going to fucking work.
Right.
Oh, by the way, the director, after the first scene, after the first take, he's sitting in the corner, sitting on the floor like this. It's like it was a 10. We did a 10-minute scene.
That'll be what, a minute in the movie?
Well, it's supposed to be.
But he's nuts. You're being too hard on him. He's out of his mind.
Let me ask you.
No.
He's nuts.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
I got a question here from
the
Pat
time
Francis.
you met that girl with the tits, in your head, did you go, I got to figure out how to grab her tit in this scene? No matter what the scene is, I got to do it.
Yes.
Did you ask her on a date afterwards?
She actually wanted me to ask her out on a date.
Why didn't you ask her out?
We went out.
Oh, you went out? What'd you do? Go to a motion picture?
Tacos?
No, we went to a dinner. And
Dude, did you go to Taco Truck?
It was a disaster. It was an absolute disaster.
Was it really?
Why? Nothing
I don't
in
need to
common.
get into it. It's just
Except your hands and her
I don't
tits.
Did she give you a pile driver?
So, the very last thing was she went off into his dressing room, and we're all like, "What the fuck's going on?
What's happening
there?"
in that
you
room?
know? And people were like kind of worried for her. I said, "I think she can take care of herself,
Yeah.
frankly." But if she was like, "Come on, let's bring on Busey." So when we went on that date, I said, "Okay, I got to ask you, what happened in that room?" He says, "What do you mean?" He says, "Did anything?" He says, "No. Did people think I was fucking him?" I said, "Yeah." Well, we don't know. He just,
Right.
says, no, he tried to come on to me, but I put him in his place right away. He
Maybe
tried
this is why the date went bad.
Yeah, you accused her of fucking Gary Busey.
on your
Dude.
date.
Dude, I had to stop short at one point, and she told me that I had missed an opportunity to grab her breasts when I did. I didn't do the...
But you didn't call her a whore. That's different.
Nah, it's not different.
It is different. You said to her, you were in there fucking Gary Busey.
No, we were
That's bad first date conversation.
Was this a couple of friends going out to eat, or was this going to be a date?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
That's what part of the confusion was. But we
I
don't need to
think
get
you're
into
as crazy as Busey.
Yeah.
The way that you used to
Stand
attack
up on
Pat
your chair,
Francis
Jimmy.
like that.
Andrew on camera, everybody.
Andrew Koenig, everybody.
On camera.
Andrew Koenig.
Love it.
That's the longest he's spoken on this show.
Ever.
I think we all know why now.
That's gold. That's good stuff right there.
I love that. It's a great story.
It's a great story.
People love hearing these stories. They love hearing show business stories or whatever you were just involved with. They like hearing stories like that.
They like a John Hamm, and they like what you do.
Andrew's a great actor, and it's a shame that he's not in front of the camera more.
Well, maybe you
acting,
could do
not
one of
necessarily
these
as a
reality
rock
things.
tour, but
When you're at the age where humor is just quoting a catchphrase, that's the funniest movie in the world, because it's all like that catchphrase type humor. You know, it's just like goofy characters.
Or if you're 5, it's the last movie you saw.
Right.
What's your favorite movie?
oh yeah, Strange
Yeah.
Brew.
There's never catchphrases from porn films, though, are there?
Yeah, here it
I've
comes.
got a great one.
Here it comes.
What?
Oh, I've got a great one. This one is from...
I think he actually has one.
This is from Taboo. Taboo.
Oh, my God, he
This is from
has one.
Taboo.
Go.
It's one of the original pornos back in the day.
What goes on at your hotel? You live in a hotel, so right?
My friend. When we were 14, I stayed over his house, and he had the cable TV. And our plan was we were going to videotape some porn, and but his parents were around the corner, so we had.
If you hadn't said the part about cable, that sounds really bad.
What's that?
Yeah, right. We're gonna videotape some porn. That
Well,
sounds-
you know, on the VCR,
Right.
Yeah.
And the plan was, if the parents came, if we heard them coming down the hallway, you know, he turns off the TV, I turn off the VCR, and he pops out the tape.
And you
or
would get
something.
off his lap.
You think that's funny?
Well, not today. Not on No Gay Day.
Okay, so go ahead.
Yeah, I thought that meant no gay jokes.
So.
Too late.
I think it means more.
So the last thing I realize happens is we hear his mom stepping around the corner, but she's just behind the wall, and it's too late to do anything. So I just went to sleep. I pretended that I had nothing to do with it. And of course, then she sent me to his room, and he said it was him. He brought the tape over.
He blames you for
he blames
Taboo.
me, yeah.
Wow.
So what's the catchphrase?
The line is,
The catchphrase
Taboo
is,
is
boys,
about
what are you doing?
Taboo is about this woman who's having sex with her son.
I like how he gave in. No,
It's about a woman who's having sex with herself.
It's taboo. Her son.
With her son.
Oh, her son.
So she goes over to a
That
friend's
is
house.
sexy.
What
is wrong with that?
It's taboo. So she goes over to a friend's house and just.
It's also nauseating.
Patrick, this is your mother.
Come on. Well, it's not your mother.
But there's still
I
taboo.
know, but I get this. Why is that a turn on if you're watching it? Why do you
Big
want a
hug
movie?
and a kiss to you. And I love
That's
you.
horrible. Why is that happening?
That's such a weird
That is
premise.
weird.
If
for a
I may
porno.
jump in quickly, Andrew, the very first porn I ever saw, which was on an 8mm,
Butt boss.
was one of those. What were they
How
called?
fucking old are you?
I know.
An 8mm
You were watching
porno?
were you watching a stag film?
It was a stag
with
film.
Ralph and Potsy?
It was what was the name of the company? Swedish,
Exchange.
Scandinavian.
Vodio Dodo.
No, it wasn't that. Pat from Happy Days.
Smorgasbord?
The premise was robbers come in and they force the father to have sex with the daughter. That was the premise. So apparently that was a big thing in early porn.
And even though we know that they're not related in the movie, they're all actors. That is
this was
gross.
homemade. It may
But why
have
should
been-
you have to remember that to
Gross.
get off? Like, why do you have to? It's just actors. Okay.
I don't know why. I mean, but
Yeah, that's what Matt's saying. Yeah, why do you have to remember it? You have to.
Are you guys not familiar with Oedipus?
You just have to watch the scenes out of context. If you fast forward, you wouldn't know. that
Right.
there's-
I
you
mean,
can't fast forward on an 8mm, friend. You got to wait it out.
That's right.
And then,
Speed it
and then
up
it's
a little.
they put it up like it's because it was silent.
well, you can put the 18 frame option on there, and then it
Right.
goes a little faster.
Well, I'm 12. I'm pretty sure I didn't know how to run the projector without my stepdad coming in and catching me.
So you set a projector up by yourself, and you
my stepbrother. We put him up.
let's thread the
Where-
projector, hung up
where
a
did
bed
you-
sheet on our wall.
Where'd you get the
Somebody
film?
found these things, brought him over.
You got some skeletons, man.
You never watched stag films?
Not at an 8mm. No, I don't think I saw porn until I was in my 20s.
You didn't have sex till you were in your
What
20s.
the
Well,
fuck?
everything came at one time, buddy.
Literally.
Floodgates. Here they are.
All right. So what's the
So she
catchphrase
goes
of
over.
taboo?
So she goes over to
Yeah.
a friend's house, and she's feeling really torn about the fact that she's having sex with her son.
Oh, good. At least she's
should.
conflicted.
She's guilty about it.
And her friend, who's been having a menage a trois with an Asian girl and a white guy, he comes to the door in a robe, and she's telling the story, and she starts rubbing her clit. And she goes, "Oh my God, it's so hot." She says, "Did you suck his dick?" She says, "Yes." She says, "Did he come in your mouth?" She goes, "Yes."
This is bordering on porn itself. Just him telling it.
I'm uncomfortable.
This is like erotic. Like we've crossed into a weird
This
territory.
is
This is a fucking Christmas show, for God's
know.
sake.
As
Just
soon
get
as
to the catchphrase.
As soon as I said clit, it turned
I
the
know.
corner.
We
That
don't need
was
to
so
blow my
fucking
flow.
horrible. Why
agree,
was
man.
that
You
the
have to
worst?
understand what's
Put a
going on.
stocking on it.
I never want to hear Andrew Koenig say the
I
word
don't-
clit.
I don't
That's so
either.
I know. Why
weird.
did you say rubber cell? Why do you have to say that?
What the fuck?
We get it. Go on. It's taboo.
It's very taboo on Christmas.
It is. It's the
We wanted this
Christmas
show to be
episode.
enjoyed every holiday season. You go, let's listen to the
I
Christmas
know.
show.
It's a
from-
classic.
Yeah, it's a classic.
Yeah, this was going to be like Charlie Brown.
Yeah,
and the-
Frosty the
Hang
Snowman,
up the
the Grinch.
mistletoe. We're gonna have a show this Christmas. I'm rubbing my clit. How dare you? I have to have a cookie to cleanse my palate.
Andrew's like the porn miser.
I'm Mr. Porn Miser.
He lives alone.
I've got a cock. Go ahead.
She says, did it come in your mouth?" She says, "Yes." She says, "Gobs and gobs."
Oh my god!
What is going on?
That's the line.
This is
Gobs and
unbelievable.
That's the catchphrase.
This is the room where my children will be opening their presents.
I would move.
I might have to burn
gotta
this.
move.
I might have to burn this place down like Carrie, like the movie Carrie.
Horrible. Andrew?
What is he
Why are you
doing?
running
He
away?
left the room and he moved the camera.
He's going to jerk off.
I know. Stay out of my kid's room.
Can't run and hide, Andrew. This is why people don't want him talking.
What if he's in my wife's sexy lingerie?
And don't forget, he has a hole in the crotch of his pants.
Yes, he does. No wonder he does.
Can't forget.
Never forget.
Hey, get back. Somebody's got to move the cameras.
Who's it on?
Who's on?
Unbelievable.
I'll find out.
Well, don't block my camera if it's me, jackass.
It's too
He's
hard to get
back.
over
He's
that.
back.
All right, welcome back, Andrew. All right, that's Andrew Koenig. You might
All
remember
right.
him as Boner.
Yeah.
That may have come
Now,
up.
if you're
in
just joining us late, clit.
I really recommend you rent Taboo.
Well, we don't need to now. You painted the picture.
I know. Ugh, I'll never rent it.
But it was like on TV or something.
You
So
gonna see
it was
if you
kind of
can
like the soft
punch it up on
edited
your-
version.
No.
Like they didn't show insertion or
Well,
anything.
you don't need insertion with the dialogue that's happening.
Yeah, Jesus, you don't even need a picture. You just need sound.
I just need to hear that. I audio tape that.
Yeah.
Oh, play it in the car while you're driving.
Right now, Matt and I are watching Taboo on his iTouch.
I would. Oh, monster drink.
I think I've mentioned before that when I was a kid, my friends, they had one of those giant dishes before DirecTV.
Right.
The satellite dishes were huge, and he had a channel called American Triple Ecstasy that was like full on hardcore porn.
How is that still not a station?
It might still be,
Maybe
but
well
you
be.
have to have a giant satellite dish to get it.
Nobody has those.
Only on.
Don't you feel sorry when you drive past the house and they still do have that? And you're like,
Yes.
oh, they don't know how to get rid of it, or maybe they don't want to get rid of it.
Well,
Maybe
had
it still works.
They had to sink like a 6-foot cement pylon
Right.
in their yard.
Yeah, they
to
can't get it
install
out. They can't get rid of it.
It's horrible.
Well, what do you do then? You use it for
I don't know. Fill it up with water. It's a little jacuzzi.
put a lot of cottage cheese in there, or
big
coleslaw.
big bird bath.
There was
That'd be,
no way to make
gobs
that.
and gobs of it.
Stop it. You stay out of this. I'm not kidding. Matt,
I
shut
can
him
never
down.
eat coleslaw again now.
Shut him down.
Coleslaw,
This
forget
guy's
it.
ruined Christmas.
I'm never going to be able to eat coleslaw.
The videographer that ruined Christmas.
Happy XXXmas.
Boo. Read this now. Okay, now all that aside,
Okay,
now
so
make fun of me.
after the terse email show.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to Never Not Funny, episode 507.
You've got snacks in your hand.
I know I
I'm
do.
in the middle of reading something.
I didn't know you were reading, and the truth is, I thought it'd be funny to get involved with this. Here's what happened.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Here's what happened. I'm starving.
Yeah.
I need some food.
Right.
And so Hippie over here has got granola and mango, and which, by the way, is a great morning radio team here in
Oh,
Los
my
Angeles.
God. Fantastic.
Granola and mango. It's a
It's a
Hawaii-
Jamaican guy and a fucking
and a hippie.
Yeah.
You know what? You don't listen to them. You know this is said a lot. Hey man.
That's a lot of. They share the pot and no opinions.
So I asked Andrew if he could please pour some granola in my hand because I'm sick. I didn't want to dig in there.
Yeah.
And I panicked and said, "Okay, that's enough." And then nothing came out when I said that's enough. So then he poured more, and now now there's too much in my hand. And then I wanted to get going because I'm tired of the bullshit. So I chose to do it while you were reading and while I was eating.
Yeah.
I admit I'm wrong.
I'm looking at what
All right,
we've
good.
got
Fill
for.
some time.
Well, we've got a lot of Judge Jimmy's and
What?
questions, and
So what theme song are you gonna play?
that's why don't you finish eating and let me talk?
Go ahead.
What do you mean? What theme song am I going to play?
Because if you got choices,
Well, I'm looking to you as the host to tell me what you want to do. Do you want to do a stupid question? Do you want to do a Judge Jimmy? Do you want to do a truth or dare? I got them all.
let's do all three today.
Oh my God!
We gotta kill a half hour by ourselves because Corolla took off on us. Which, by the way, which was planned. Let's make that clear. But
Yeah.
when Adam came, we knew we could only have him for an hour because he had to go to his own show. Which, of course, begs the question then, why didn't we have him come a half hour early?
because we were doing another show.
Why didn't we start that one a half hour early?
We couldn't.
Then why didn't we just get up a half hour earlier?
Jimmy, you could ask questions like that all day, but that's not the stupid question.
That's really stupid. Oh, come on, you slob.
Oh God! I don't know.
This is bringing the show to a screeching halt. Why don't they have these conversations off the air?
That's a good question.
By the way, I want to make it clear that I say it. I say it a lot, and I don't know if I say it enough. I am so grateful we have listeners. So when I make fun of the listener like that,
Yeah.
I'm really just making fun of one guy.
Well, not even one guy. It's a guy in your head that basically has ruined your life because you take him with you everywhere. And he does. If you just realized he doesn't exist, you may be a happier person.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I've made many mistakes in my lifetime. None as big as this fucking granola that I have in my hand
It's
right now.
90% birdseed. That's the problem.
This whole
with that
thing is
granola.
awful. It's all sticking to my hand. I can't get it out.
Yeah.
I feel like a hamster.
All right, here comes.
it's gerbil.
Here's the song. Here's the song.
That's my impression of you, by the way.
What?
That's what that was.
What? The squeaky gerbil?
it's a gerbil. Instead of hamster.
Yeah.
In retro-
A hamster is big. A gerbil is smaller.
Hamsters and gerbils are about the same size.
I might be thinking of a guinea pig.
Yeah, you are.
I don't know the difference between any of those things.
Is that true? You're.
I know that Richard Gere looks like a mole to me.
What if he was on Celebrity Mole?
Celebrity Mole Hawaii.
He'd really fit in, wouldn't he?
One of my favorite things my friend Mike ever said to me was when that show Celebrity Mole Hawaii was on, he was like, Those are three words, but they don't make any sense together.
Mike. He's not a performer, not like yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Here's a stupid question.
Hey, before that, when Adam Carolla tells you that you're not funny, did that hurt your feelings?
No, I think he meant it in good fun.
He was having a good time.
He meant it in good fun.
That was fun. Let's do a quick recap. That was fun.
That was a lot of fun. This could be like our post show, but we're just putting it out there. This is like what we do after a show. We sit around and stroke each other off, telling each other how great it was.
Not every week.
Well, that's true. Can we get to this question? I think it's a good one.
Yeah, go.
At least I have an answer. I don't know if you guys do.
Go ahead.
Andrew might not because he doesn't wear shoes, but here's the question.
This is a question of the week?
Yes.
All right.
Question of the week. I love this question, by the way.
What's the favorite pair of shoes you've ever owned? And follow up, have you ever bought the same pair twice? Ryan Mann wants to know.
Okay, first of all, I don't care for that name. Second of all, does that come into the play in the question?
Ryan Mann? Why don't you like that?
I don't know.
You like Michael Mann? He's a good director.
You know what? I think there's controversy on that, right? Isn't there?
Is he a good director?
I like most. I think I like most of his movies.
I think Heat alone makes him.
But so many people hate Heat.
Well, do you like?
I'm not one of them.
What do you think about Hot Heat? Do you hate Hot Heat?
No, but I do like the song Hot Hot Hot.
Feeling
hot. Buster Poindexter. That guy was in the New York Dolls. There we go for the website. Obvious trivia. That guy was in the New York Dolls.
Yeah. Buster Poindexter was in the New York Dolls. Yes. Everyone knows that. He looks exactly the same, except doesn't have a fucking pompadour.
Right. He's not a handsome man, David Johansen.
No, he's not.
But you know what? He made it a living. He's a gazillionaire. He's doing better than I'm doing.
Friends with Debbie Harry, probably.
I don't know who he's friends with. It's not my business.
It seems like he would be. Same scene.
Do
you have an answer to the question or not? Favorite pair of shoes ever? Did you ever buy two of the same?
My favorite pair of shoes ever, and this is going to make me sound like a fagula, was my friend Daver, who just provided that music we just heard.
Yeah.
When he first hired me back in 1984 at the record store, he had on these what could only best be described as elf shoes. They were like a canvas elf shoe.
Yeah.
Not a wrestling shoe. Make no mistake, this is not a wrestling shoe. It was a canvas lace up, maybe a dozen eyelets. Is that what they're called?
Maybe.
And then it would go up. I need to ignore that call. And then, then it would come up, little like basically elf shoes.
Yeah.
And they were canvas. And I told Dave I loved them. I said I got to get myself a pair of those. They will go great with my parachute pants. And I'm saying this with no sarcasm or iron. And he said, well, you're going to have to go to, and I forget the name of the store, but for the fun of it, let's say Claire's Boutique, even though they don't sell shoes.
Yeah.
And I went, but Dave, those are girls' shoes. He goes, right. So I went to the girls' shoe store and I bought these girls' shoes. Went to school. Even the fucking jock assholes were like, hey, man, those are great shoes.
Wow.
So I love
you. Win.
Those are my favorite shoe of all time.
But did you buy them again?
Never bought them again because they may have gone out of, just like everything in the 80s, they may have gone out of style within minutes of me purchasing them.
Yeah. And also, that's something my dad used to do. He would find like a pair of, Bally's or whatever is that a shoe?
That's a gymnasium.
Yeah, that's not right.
Bass is a shoe.
Bass is what I'm thinking of.
Certainly something that you would wear in the upper Mideast.
What's Sperry?
That's like a topsider.
I think I combined Sperry and Bass and made Bally's.
I think you might have.
Kind of doesn't really make sense. But yeah.
By the way, if you wear Bally's, you have to pay a big fee up front.
Right.
And then just a couple of bucks a month.
Monthly fee to wear your shoes. Mm-hmm. He bought like 5 pairs of something because he found out they were going they were going to
I would do the same thing.
Because, and that makes sense, I guess, at a certain point. But
I need you to take this more seriously. Why are you talking as if you're a newsman in a round table?
Look, we're reporting on the shoe crisis. But my favorite pair ever, Air Jordan 91s. They were designed by the same designer that made the boots for Batman, the first Tim Burton Batman movie. And I loved them. I loved Air Jordans when I was growing up, and these to me were the best ones they ever made.
I always found Air Jordans to be too clunky.
These were
too
not
heavy.
They were kind of molded around the ankle. Here's how much I loved them. I bought them in black and white. And you know what?
What's that, brother?
Sometimes I would wear one of each. That's how cool I was in high school.
You are mispronouncing gay.
I also switched the laces on them so that they're black with white.
Why are you alive? Why didn't you get the shit kicked out of you
Because
every day?
I went to a hippie school where everyone accepted everything. And
Nobody accepted those shoes. They made
Yes.
fun of you behind your back.
No.
Or do they go,
those shoes
hey,
were-
man, look at the way black and white's getting together on Matt's feet. If
Probably.
only we could do that in real life.
I don't know if anyone said that, but they probably thought it.
I doubt it.
No, these were cool. I think it was 91, but they kind of looked a little like the Batman boots in a weird way, but they were still Jordans. And
I
were
never
really
was
cool.
a fan of the Air Jordan. Andrew, obviously a Birkenstock's your favorite. What's your next question?
I have a legitimate favorite shoe.
Let's hear it.
You don't even like this segment of the show.
I like this question.
Oh, really? This is one you like?
Because it reminds me of something that I actually like.
What is
Why are you anti-question of the week, by the way?
Wait, I don't think do people know that?
Yes. On the Greg Fitzsimmons episode, he said, I'm torn here. I like that Greg is shitting on this because I hate this segment. And I only go along with it because it's part of the show. First of all, you don't have to go along with anything. I'll take that goddamn microphone away from you as quickly as I gave it to you. That's A.
He's so angry.
B.
And how quick I saw it. He gave you that microphone really quickly. He was like, "Where?"
B. What is there not to like about Question of the Week?
I just think, I don't know. I know it's supposed to be stupid question of the week. I'm not a person who
You
likes to
don't
delve into
care.
minutia.
He doesn't care about minutia.
Yeah,
Which
you guys are.
I don't know why he's here.
Then why are you here?
I'm here to tape the show.
Then take the microphone away.
You gave it to me. I
You
never asked for
begged
it. I
us.
never.
And quickly.
Never
At Thanksgiving,
asked for it.
while in between
Bullshit.
Marsha Hunt telling us about the standing
This
up
is
for
bullshit.
herself,
You're making up a
you
story.
turned to me and said, "Hey, when this old bag stops rattling on about unions, I'd like to be more part of the show. Can you give me a microphone?" That's exactly what you said.
Never said that.
That's 100%
You're making that up.
No, I most certainly
I've
am
never,
not.
I've never even heard that story, and I can't believe you wouldn't have told me that.
Yeah,
that
Joe.
happened.
I can't, and I
course
haven't seen Marsha Hunt in at least 5 years.
Of course, I'm making it up.
Marsha Hunt.
Oh, chestnut soup. Who's ever heard of such a thing? Chestnut soup.
So, what's your favorite shoe?
I had this shoe, boots. They were actually boots, and I
Mm-hmm.
bought them in Vancouver at Le Chateau.
These are Canadian boots?
I believe they were actually.
Draft dodging boots?
No, they were born and bred there. I think the cows were raised and slaughtered there.
Whoa. Slow it. Slow your roll, as the young people say, maybe once in their life. Matt, if you don't put your phone away, I'm going to, honest to God.
I'm getting more questions.
Put it down and be present, then get more questions. We're talking about his shoe.
You don't think him telling a story about buying boots in Vancouver is worth me looking at a question for a second?
No, I'm going to need all the help in the fucking world to carry this little clunker of an answer. What?
That's unfair.
What happened?
That's unfair.
You
for
may have
to say
misunderstood. You may have misunderstood what I said.
By clunker, you mean gem.
Here's my question for you. You are a vegan. You are proud of it. You rattle on about it on a regular basis.
I do not.
You do. It's
You bring it up.
ad nauseum. You
You
ruin
tease me
many a
about it.
meal,
You bring it up as much as you bring up my hair.
which is gorgeous, by
Thank
the way.
you.
Don't let Corolla steer you in any other direction.
Well,
You're
he's got a face for radio.
good looking man. Whoa,
Wow.
that's our guest.
But he says that himself.
no, he didn't today.
No, he didn't today, but he has.
He was our guest, and we were
And
lucky
he liked
to
his
have him.
hair. There's
It's a
nothing.
gorgeous
There's no
head of
beef
hair.
here.
Why were you wearing leather boots?
That's because he's vegan. There's no beef here.
Because this is prior to all that.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Slow it. When did you become a vegan? Don't roll your eyes like this isn't interesting. We need. First of all, it's about you cocksucker.
Yeah,
Second of all,
how do you roll your eyes at your own
I'm
life?
showing an interest for
'Cause
once in
I've lived
11
it.
years.
What?
I'm showing an interest for once in 11 years of knowing you. So maybe you fucking pay attention. I wonder if you should be over there when
It's
there's
true.
no guest.
Well, does the switcher? I was thinking that too, but then can the switcher
That
come?
means I'm on radio. I'm on camera. Do you guys even want that?
Well, it seems just. I mean, I don't know.
Whatever. We'll just stick with what
I
we're
think
at
it's
right
weird that you're not.
Well, but I was just asking. Technically, can that thing reach over here?
now. I'm sure it could.
Sure, we'll give it a reach around and see what needs to be done. Seriously, let's give that mixing motor a hand job. All right, so you became a vegan in what, 1997?
95.
95. You went, you saw the
91,
Toad the Wet Sprocket do a
91.
concert, and that changed your life.
The fuck? Everything's a Toad the Wet Sprocket.
the only reference
I know.
1990s.
And then they came out in 89 probably.
And I don't even know who they are. I just know
They
the
had
name.
that
It was a
song.
reference to a Monty Python sketch, isn't it?
I believe it is.
Yeah.
I believe you're 100% right on that.
91, I stopped eating meat after driving around the States and flipping my truck and remembering that I wanted to be a vegetarian when I was a kid. My mom said, no, you can't. And
Seems like a weird thing to tell your child.
Seems like a weird thing to remember when you flip your truck.
Well, it's one of the few
As opposed to, hey, I should have worn my seatbelt. That would have been the first thing I would have
I
remembered.
was wearing my seatbelt.
All right, yeah, suck the
I
funny
was
out. What are you, him? Let something fucking breathe. I'm not mad. Go on. Put your phone down. Maybe you should swing over there. Get on camera. Here, you're going to get caught up. Now, you know what?
But he moved his camera, so now
I think it's going to be too big of a hassle.
What if his hair blocks the shot of you, Jimmy? Is that okay?
Then people get a good look at that goddamn head of hair. Is
I didn't think the star of the show would be approving of that.
Am I so vain?
Yeah.
Am I really?
He probably thought this song was about you.
I bet I wonder who that song's written about. You know, somebody paid money at an auction to find out.
Yeah, and guess what? that man's name is the most disappointed man on earth. How fucking disappointing. Even if it's not who everyone thinks it is, which is Warren Beatty, it's still a fucking disappointing thing to find out.
I agree with that. It may have been a huge mistake submitting him over.
No one knows.
Do you have to bring up that microphone, Matt?
She told the one guy. Yes. Sorry.
There we go. Now, how do I look? I'm coming in over you?
You're the same.
Yeah.
I'm coming in over you. Coming in up high.
Yeah. Maybe even in the future I should sit over there. And...
Nope.
Okay.
Bird's eye view, buddy. Go ahead.
Can you talk and switch at the same time?
He was doing it just fine over there.
I always do it.
That's true. Talking to the mic.
But is you being off camera going to throw you off? Being on camera?
I thought you might get lost in the gazing at yourself on the screen there.
I am pretty handsome.
There's no question about it. You're very elfin.
Anyway.
What's that? Really?
I'm looking at myself.
They were really cool boots. They were black. They were soft. It was like a soft leather.
Like a buttery leather?
Like a buttery leather. Yeah, like margarine. And they laced up all the way up to the top, and they came up to, up by the calves.
I'm sorry, how high?
Oh my God, are you fucking kidding?
No, they were like boots. They were boots, man.
I understand boots, but that's more than boot.
That's like Puss in Boots boots.
Well,
that's a lot of boots.
I'm not 100% sure that wasn't a compliment.
well,
go ahead.
I'll take it as that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, God, I wish.
I'm sorry. I meant those are pussy boots.
I wish I had your ear. I wish I had something that made me hear everything's a compliment. Even compliments I read into wrong.
You know how you do that?
What's that?
You just assume that the other person's an asshole.
I do that. I assume everybody's an asshole.
No, but if you just go,
no, I don't. That's not fair.
No, if you go,
that's the character talking.
That poor person. They're so unhappy that they have to put me down. Aw, you feel compassion for them. That's how you get through it. That's how I get through it. How do you think I've been able to put up with you for so long? Whoa!
This is not going well. Get back over there.
You know what? This does go better when I'm looking at you peripherally. Looking at you head on, I don't know if I care for it. All right, so you bought these boots. They come up. You lace them up. You go get your Robin Hood outfit. You put the rest of the costume on. What are you doing?
Oh, I'm getting more in the shot.
Oh, boy.
Go on.
No.
Yeah. So these were my favorite boots. These are my favorite shoes. Now,
What happened to them?
I wore them out, and I never got another pair, and I wish I had.
Sounds like the kind of boot that you would take to a cobbler if you wore it out, don't you think?
Well, back in those days, I didn't really know about
Cobbling?
getting re-healed. That's only something I've only started recently doing.
That's interesting, isn't it? Good.
It's a smart
I'm
thing.
the same way. It's a brilliant thing to do.
Yeah, it's a smart thing. Except I don't know. I'll buy used leather shoes now for like $10 that are unworn. They're used, but they're like someone tried them once. They didn't like them. They would take them to Buffalo Exchange.
But so let me understand your logic as a vegan. You won't buy leather
First-hand
new,
shoes.
but buying it used is okay?
Well, here's the deal.
What if I already chewed the hamburger and then gave it to you? Would you eat it?
Maybe you just want to be fed like a baby bird. You're not a vegan. You just hate chewing.
By the way, would anything be more nauseating than eating a pre-chewed hamburger?
No, that's disgusting.
I mean, right? That's got to be the number one.
That should be a truth or dare. Dare you have to eat
You know what?
burger.
I don't care what the truth is. I'm answering it.
Yeah, I realized the thing about truth or dare. Sorry to get off on your. Well, I'm not getting off on your boots, but I'm sorry to get off your boots.
Yeah, we'll get back. There's more to that story. It sounded like.
I realized that the thing about the truth or dare game that doesn't work, among other things, is that it has to be reciprocal. You have to. The reason that game works in a real life setting is that someone says truth or dare and you have to do it, and then you get to do it back to them. But if we're taking them from listeners, we can't do that unless we pull them out of a hat, and then we have to go back and forth.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's
add more to this. When is it agreed then the truth or dare is done?
No.
Really? It's not. We're not putting
One of the truth or dares was just
Don't say it yet. Let's finish Andrew's boots.
No, this isn't a real one. This just said dare. Jimmy, I dare Jimmy not to shit on Truth or Dare for the rest of the season.
But then there's no truth. I accept truth.
Then you're going to take the truth on that one.
Wait, I dare Jimmy not to shit on Truth or Dare for the rest of the season. I think the listener enjoys when I shit on it. I think they get a nice charge out of it.
I think you took it out at the knees.
For humor.
Yeah.
I'm not really mad at Truth. I don't give a shit.
I don't either.
We can do Truth or Dare every week, and every week I'm going to make fun of it.
Right.
And then I'm going to play along with it. That's the fucking gag.
I think the problem is that we realized we thought it would be a good way to get into personal stories, but nobody gives a shit about personal stories from us.
Why don't they?
I don't know.
That's not true. That's all you do is talk about personal stories.
Right, that's the
But
whole...
why aren't people asking us inappropriate questions that I can then reject?
Here's one. You ready?
Okay.
And we'll get back to the boots.
Please don't.
Whatever.
Here is...
I think we got everything we need about the
Well, I can
boots.
tell you about my least favorite shoes.
Truth. Here's the Truth or Dare. And this is, you know what, the truth is, this is a good one. This comes from Sheboygan, Wisconsin. Oh, by the way, here we go. Truth or Dare theme song.
What are you gonna do? Truth or dare? Truth or dare?
This is a good truth. And the truth is, I will accept truth on this, but I can't do it. And that makes me sound like an asshole, but I still have to take the truth. But I admit up front, I can't do it. But I would take the truth. Now, this isn't, I have to do it. This was, would I do it? And I would, but I wouldn't be able to do it.
Just read it.
Truth or Dare, name every girl you ever had sex with.
Just not enough time.
For you?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Have you banged a lot of ladies?
Yeah.
Are you serious? Yeah. How many have you done, do you think?
I don't know. I stopped counting.
At what number?
I don't know. Over 100.
What?
What? Pardon?
Wow.
I used to be on TV.
Oh, Andrew.
What's wrong? No, wait, what are you mad at?
I'm not mad. I'm
Disgusted.
You've slept with over 100 ladies? I'm not suggesting I haven't, by the way.
I feel like what?
What happened? No, I don't know my number because
I've been around for
I'm
a
a
while.
gentleman.
Yeah, but I feel like we've gone there with you before, and you seem to indicate that you never used your celebrity to.
I never used it. It just worked on its own.
Oh, well, that's an interesting and convenient way to phrase it.
Really? Now let me ask you, and I'm serious. If I know your joke was we don't have time for me to list all the names. Would you even be able to do it? Or are there some that you would just go, like this guy's from Sheboygan, when you go, yeah, there's a girl in Sheboygan, couldn't tell you her name.
Yeah, I'd have to like give descriptive.
Couple of cities.
Yeah, or just situations.
Jeez.
They were talking about my situation. You go yazoo on us, huh?
So, Jimmy, you're also saying you don't have time?
I'm not saying I don't have time. I'm saying I can't do it.
Because no matter how little time is left on this show, we have time for mine. Like you could be going on behalf of the producer. I could do it between that and the end of the show.
I am not suggesting mine are a lot, as much as I'm suggesting there was a lot. There was some drunken.
Yeah.
I'm a road comic.
Yeah.
And I don't. I mean, no disrespect to the lady, but
Do you feel good about that or bad about it?
I don't feel hot about it.
You don't?
I don't feel great about it, and I don't feel bad about it. I feel
Yeah.
I think I lived in my 20s. I lived as a drunk, and I'm not suggesting all my sex was done drunkenly.
Even if you weren't drunk, still you're in your 20s.
I'm in my
you're a
20s,
road
and I was a
comic.
road comic, and I think that was part of it.
Yeah.
But I was. That certainly is not to say. This is a true story. This will give you an idea of what I was like. In Detroit, Michigan, once, a guy named Mike Ornstein, who was a terrific comedian, he and his buddy came to the show.
Mike Ornstein, I know?
That's correct. They came out to the show, and they were not on the program, and I had a chance to get laid that night.
Mm-hmm.
This girl was hitting on me hard, and I'm very flattered. And then Mike said, hey, man, we're going to go back to my house and just hang out and have some beers and laugh. I chose that over getting laid because I really enjoyed having fun with other comics.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't, my point of that story was I wasn't a comic that was just in comedy to get laid. There's guys that did that. But
Or you weren't, even like if you weren't in comedy to only get laid, you weren't a guy who would choose getting laid over anything
That's
else.
correct.
Yeah.
However, if the night before it happened, I probably would have ended up in the hotel room with somebody. But that is, that was not my MO. I was not the, hey, Pardo's just here to get laid guy. That wasn't it.
Mm-hmm.
But I did enjoy my 20s. And I didn't always get laid. I enjoyed the company of others. But I
Making
couldn't,
out.
like I made out with somebody in Cumberland, Maryland. I couldn't tell you her name right now. Like, so for instance, if that guy said,
How dare you?
what? Not remember her name?
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Did I ever tell you that story though?
No.
This is I had to have.
remember.
Here's the funny story.
Okay.
Very quickly. These girls, we had done a show, me and the other comic. I don't remember his name. It was in a hotel in Cumberland, Maryland, and we did the show. And afterwards, we were just sitting in the lobby. We were going to something happened where I was waiting in the lobby for him. We were going to go into like Denny's or something, get some food. And these girls were in the lobby, and they said, "Hey, you're one of the comedians." And I said, "Yeah." And they go, "Oh, we weren't in your show. We weren't here in time, but we saw from the lobby that you were the comedian." And I was like, "Oh, yeah." And I go, "The other one's coming down," and so he comes down, and we end up hanging out with these girls in the lobby, and they're there for there's a college basketball tournament in town. I swear to God, I've told this story.
I think you have. Now that you're telling it, I didn't know what story.
I will tell it very quickly.
Yeah,
I haven't heard it.
There's a college basketball tournament in town, and so these girls are talking about how they're there, and they're there for the tournament, and they just keep saying, "We're there for the tournament. We're there for the tournament. We're there for the tournament," and I end up making out with one of them, and the other comedian sleeps with one of them, and at one point.
And when you say one of them, you mean the other one?
The other, no, there's a bunch of girls.
Oh, there's a bunch of girls, okay.
But eventually, 4 of them go, and this guy bangs one of them, and I make out with one of them. And at one point, my phone rings, and it's another girl going, "Hey, Shelly," I'll make up a name. "Shelly needs to get out of there. The coach is looking for her, and you better make sure." And I don't even know what room the other comic's in, so I got to go find and knock on doors. And so we knock on the door. And he comes to I find him. He comes to the door in a towel. And the girl I'm making out with very cleverly goes, "Disappointed?" Because obviously they had sex and I did not. And she goes, "Disappointed?"
She said that to
Yes,
you?
isn't that great?
That is awesome.
The next so they go back to the rooms before they break curfew, whatever has to happen. The next day, we go down to, and we're talking before we get in the car to go to the next gig, because we're doing a string of one-nighters. I said, "Boy, we got to find out what college those girls are from." So I said to the front desk, "Hey, what college was here last night for part of the basketball tournament?" And he goes, "College? That was a high school team."
Nice.
So this guy broke the law.
Nice.
I just made out, which I believe
some high school seniors are 18 years old.
Mine was.
I hope so.
But we also know that you have broken the law.
What does that mean?
Well, at the record store.
Yeah, but I was a child myself.
Yeah.
You were 20.
Child of the porn.
This would have been creepy 26 years old. No, I was probably 24 at the time. So if she was 18.
Yeah.
But again, Your Honor, I was told she was in the college basketball team.
But we discussed this off the air in probably our regular life, where I was saying, when I was like 18, the idea of screwing around with a 17-year-old or a 16-year-old, it seems, I don't want to do that. It's like they're a child. But now you look at a 16-year-old or a 17-year-old and you're like,
You do it?
yeah.
I don't know, but I
feel the opposite.
I feel the opposite, I think.
I think when I was that
agree with
age.
me.
But I agree with you in theory. No.
Well,
At the
it's all
time,
theoretical. It's not something I'm going to actually go out and do.
if I'm 18 and I'm making out or doing it with a 17 or 16-year-old, that's just life. That's just who you're dating. That's in your
Yeah,
circle.
you're
But
a year and a half
If you do
apart.
it now, when you see a hot 17-year-old, sweet Jesus. Yes.
Yeah.
I'll take the chance.
No, but what I'm saying is that at the time it seemed like, of course, but now I look at a 17-year-old or a 16-year-old girl, I'm like, God damn it, that's young. Like she just
Well,
looks
even when I
incredibly
see
young.
2 17-year-old kids making out at the mall or whatever, I was like, they're children.
but
Yeah.
that makes it 34.
No, you don't add the ages together.
Oh, you don't?
No. Although if you did, then I'd have a threesome with 2 17-year-old girls. That's assuming my wife allows this.
Yeah.
Truth
I'm
or
guessing
dare?
she would not.
Did you ever have a threesome? Oh, Andrew,
Andrew,
I've been close.
what does that mean?
I've been close.
did you want one? Because I never understood why you would want
I
that.
barely can keep an erection with one person. I need a second one there mucking it up.
What if it's a guy and a girl?
No.
I think another guy might help.
Oh, then I could keep the erection.
Yeah.
No, you know why? The whole time I would think about his is bigger than mine. She's enjoying him more. He's doing something I can't do. It would be horrible.
That's what I thought you meant when she said disappointed, because he came through the door in a towel, and I thought maybe he had his huge stinking boner, and you're like, see, he's got a bigger one than you.
No, well, she didn't even know. We just made out.
Okay.
She doesn't even know what my crank's
All right.
like.
I misunderstood.
And by the way, you ever see that movie Crank? That's what it's all about. It's about a guy running around town looking for bigger penises. That's true, and he's got to lick a battery at
I'm
some
sure
point.
that's a porn title.
If it's not. Hey, I just saw a porn title, by the way, called Not Just Another Porn Movie. And it's a comedy porn,
Right.
Yeah.
with all the stereotypes from porn.
That's good. That's a good idea.
I think it's a good idea, too.
for the first 5 minutes.
And then it's over,
yeah,
right?
It's like,
You
okay, I got
shoot it and you're done.
I heard about a porn parody of The Office.
Yeah.
You heard about that?
Oh,
Yeah,
I
there's
think
a bunch
I
of
have
TV
too.
shows, actually.
Yeah.
They did a bunch of like newer ones and older ones. I think they did a Cosby show.
The MASH one is fantastic.
Oh, is that the one from the early 80s?
I made it up.
He's kidding.
No, I saw one from the early 80s that was a MASH takeoff, and it was hysterical because they actually got, like, they were writing jokes. Like, they had some guy doing Hawkeye Pierce.
And then they got like a guy that looks like Radar with a fin hand and...
Don't remember that. He has a fin. Does he have webbing on his head?
Well, Berghoff's got some crazy deformity of his hand, and which apparently I'm able to mock.
I didn't even know that.
He's a nice man, Gary Berghoff. That's obvious trivia. How everybody was always told he always had a clipboard because he had a gimp hand.
Really?
You never knew that?
No, I didn't. Well, first of all,
Not
I
obvious
barely
trivia.
know MASH.
Right.
But I also can't believe they hid it for 10 seasons instead of just being like, hey, this guy got hit by mortar.
Right. Mortar, you're out of mortar. Hey, by the way, let me just say this. I can't believe that we went an hour and 4 minutes with Corolla, and we talked about porn for a second with him, and he leaves, and all of a sudden it's porn talk.
Yeah.
Well, we all geared up for it, and then didn't happen, so we had to, much like when you have to watch a porn, we all not have to release.
Pardon?
Never mind.
All right. We're done.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fast.
Wasn't that fun?
Yeah.
Turns out we can do this without a guest.
It's a shame.
Yeah, think again, guys. Don't let that happen again when a guest has to leave early. We got to hear you three ramble on.
Again, that's all in
It's
your
my
head.
fucking show.
Yes. Thank you for clarifying with that voice in your head.
God, I wish you weren't right. I wish you weren't right.
So my worst pair of shoes.
Nobody cares.
God.
Nobody cared
What if we
about
just
your
faded
best
out
pair?
on you talking about your fucking shoes?
You know what? Go ahead. Tell us about it.
Just end the show and then he'll do it.
On behalf of the producer, Matt Belknap, our good friends from monkeylucky.com, Andrew J. Koenig, our good friend, Strong,
New friend.
our new friend, Adam Carolla, Ace, they call him. His buddies call him Ace.
Yeah, don't know why, but
I don't know.
maybe they're going to explain it on
Why
that
do they
sitcom.
call me the shooter?
Because you're...
I mean, I have a story. I'm sure he's got a story for Ace.
Okay. What's your story?
Mike thinks. We don't want to hear my
All
story.
right, move on.
All right. On behalf of everybody involved, Adam Carolla, Andrew J. Koenig, Matthew B. Belknap, James R.
Talked about it 2 weeks ago.
By the way, we talked about it 2 weeks ago. I couldn't tell you your middle name right now for $1,000.
Maurice.
What?
It's Morris.
Pathetic.
Is it Morris?
No.
It is. It's Gibb.
Baumgartner.
It's Gibb.
Oh, you remembered the fucking Bee Gees part. You just
Right.
didn't remember. Okay.
Well, no, I didn't remember till he said Morris, Maurice, and then I said Morris.
Oh,
Then
I was like subconsciously doing that.
Maurice. Steve Miller Band, Belknap, Koenig, Carolla, Pardo, podcast, done.
Which one is famous?
We're not playing a guessing game.
It's just like a multiple choice question. Like,
We know which
guy's
one.
successful in Hollywood.
I don't know, the guy that made a fucking pilot this week.
Yeah.
And then went to go to his free podcast.
Love it.
You know what? We get paid for our podcast.
Yeah.
And if he did,
And
he'd
if
be
we were doing a
gazillionaire.
pilot for CBS, we wouldn't be charging.
That's a good point.
Start a letter writing campaign, folks. Get Jimmy on TV so you don't have to pay for this show.
They
anymore.
tried that with Match Game. It failed.
Yeah. Almost worked.
But
Almost
it
worked.
was for the wrong reason. If they do it out of selfish reasons, so they don't have to pay anymore.
Oh, I think it was selfless the last time they did it.
Right, that was the problem.
Yeah, he's saying this is if the show becomes free, if you get a pilot, then they have a reason to do it.
But they already
Selfish reason.
did it.
They're going to do it again this time.
What are they doing this time?
This time they're doing it for their own reasons.
So I always wanted.
Why did you become a gangster? They're doing it again this time.
Yeah.
By the
right.
way, my wife the other day, this is hysterical. Have you seen those commercials for Miller Lite when the guy from The Sopranos comes in and said, we want to offer you protection?
Yeah.
And then he goes, we got protection. They go, no!
Yeah.
And then he says, we're going to mop the floor. Oh, here you go. No! I laughed, and Danielle turns to Oliver and goes, sometimes Daddy's just a regular guy. Belknap, Koenig, Pardo. We'll see you next time on the podcast.
I always wanted topsiders, and my parents would never buy me brand name stuff, so they got me port ciders. And like I wanted a Sony Walkman, but my dad got me this Sanyo cassette player, and it sucked. It was this huge box, and it wasn't compacted. It wasn't something you could take with you, and it had a belt to go jogging with. I never got polo shirts. I would always get off-brand knit shirts.